Sweat Equity Podcast.
Ch-
Caleb, you ready?
Bruh.
You feeling it?
Bruh.
We got Matt E. Lee
What's up?
in the house. Going to talk a little music, a little nerd knowledge. Feeling good. We got some Sweetwater 420 IPAs kicking. Don't float on the mainstream. I don't know what that means, but that's our slogan. Yeah, we're in the doldrums of the holiday season. We're gonna put this right up. You might have to get your mic closer, Caleb.
Is this good?
Oh man,
Is this good?
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk right into
Is
it.
this? There we go.
That's a little bit
There
better.
she is.
That's
Hey,
why you
everybody.
wear these so
Yep.
you can hear yourself.
That would be why.
But if you talk right into like where the penis, where the dick hole would be,
What, the urethra?
yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right.
Like think like you have a kidney stone and it's coming out and you want to see it if you're the doctor. And
I don't
you'll
want
be
that.
like, what's my best view? It's with your mouth. No. What are we on? We're on tocoworks.com. We're on iTunes. I think we're on Stitcher. I think we're on a few other sites and apps that upload whatever podcasts are on iTunes. Matt, you got a podcast you want to plug?
Yeah, we have a podcast called In Hot Water.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Tom DeGeorge and Joe DeCunto.
It's a solid crew.
It sounds like made up
Solid
names.
crew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, no, this Big Footlong and Jodeci and Mini Horse are our podcast names.
Oh, okay, that's
No-
your handles.
Those are the handles.
Now
that
they,
for
now they
Xbox?
sound real. Now
Yeah.
they sound real.
Is that for
Yeah.
Xbox Live or just
Oh,
just
I
the
wish.
podcast?
Just the podcast. No, but it could be branched off into wrestling or wrestling and many other things. It's from the hot dog party down the street at Crowbar.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the hot dog obsession? I was trying to figure this out.
Kick him some knowledge, Mini Horse.
So 9 years ago, we threw a party at Crowbar
in Tampa, in Ybor City.
in Ybor City.
We're global with this
Yes.
thing.
Mm-hmm. And it was on the 3rd of July. It was the 3rd of July shenanigans, and a bunch of people played it, and it was about America, and what's more American than hot dogs and music and beer. So that's what we did, and 9 years later, it's become pretty crazy. We have a podcast. We had a guy travel from Atlanta last year to win it, like some national champion. It was pretty gross.
Wait, is it like competitive eating?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's I mean, there's a lot of bands, and it's a party, but there is a hot dog eating contest. That's the same as Coney Island, but it's like not.
It's not regulated?
No,
in any
there's
way?
waivers.
Oh, okay.
Ish, but there's I mean, we're not crushing like 80 dogs. There's no chestnuts, but the guy did put down like almost 24 last
There's no
year.
Joey Chestnuts.
What-
For
what-
those
Yeah.
that aren't
Yeah,
aware,
right.
sadly I know that guy's name. I kind of hate myself.
What's the time limit on the dogs?
7 minutes.
So 24. I'm not good at math here, but 24 hot dogs in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be sick.
Yeah,
I'd be sick.
that's a good clip. Caleb, I think judging by the shirt size you're wearing, that's way too small.
Yeah.
It looks like an Under Armour with a collar.
Yeah, well,
maybe next July you might have something.
We'll be good. Yeah, my wedding diet actually starts. It was supposed to start last week, but I've had Thai food. Let's see, it's Wednesday now. I've had Thai food 2 nights this week.
You can do Thai. You just
Yeah.
can't do like the good stuff.
So you can just
the
do chicken and vegetables with like a little bit of broth? No, I'll pass.
That's still better than most like grilled chicken anywhere.
I'll just eat some pad Thai and I'll be happy about it. I don't need my shirt to fit. I don't.
So you're just gonna balloon out? You're just going the other way?
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
like fuck it.
It's that. All right, so if there's any other fat people listening, you've got those shirts that they fit when you are in a certain position, which is like 2% of the time your shirt fits. So I have to keep my shoulders kind of forward
Yeah.
because if I sit normal, I look like I've just got a lot of cleavage I'm looking to show you
I'm seeing
right
nip.
there. You're seeing nip?
I'm seeing nip. From
See,
where
I
I'm
should
at.
get paid for this. I feel like I should be getting paid right now.
The Nip Company? By the what? Fat Guy Shirt Company?
No, dude, I'm giving Mini Horse a free show.
Oh,
I'm digging
okay.
it.
Oh,
What are you
paid.
talking
Oh,
about?
paid
Yeah.
by. Okay.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're showing a titty. But the thing, I know what you're talking about when the you're wearing a short sleeve button down collared shirt, plaid kind of
Yeah.
style shirt, and when it gets too small and you feel like the Hulk in it,
Yeah.
you can't. It's like when you have a jacket that's too small when you rent. and
Yep.
you can't like almost touch your fingers together because it's like I'm gonna rip the back of this
Yeah.
like Tommy Boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty much how I feel 98% of the time in this shirt.
Why don't we
So.
just get you like some? It's like MeUndies.
I
Like,
wanna think that one day this shirt's gonna fit,
It's motivational.
and I think and it's almost like it's motivational until I get hungry again, and then I'm like, as bad as I want this shirt to fit, I really want that brisket downstairs.
all right.
Really want that brisket.
Well, we'll shoot a plug to the brisket as well as the podcast. The brisket down at the Bricks.
Yeah, we really want to thank the Bricks for being downstairs. Thank
well,
you guys.
And also, for the Spot Skate Park in Tampa, kind of.
Yep.
If you're a skateboarder, that's kind of a landmark you'd know.
Huge.
That's
yeah.
like me doing the cellar. That's like one of those things where
Yep.
that's a
You getting
big
done
deal.
in the cellar.
Mhm.
Worldwide.
That's a big deal.
In the Cleveland cellar with that weirdo. Yeah. All right, where do we start, man?
Well, hold on. Where can we find In Hot Water, the podcast? Where can we go to find that? iTunes, I think.
So if you search In Hot Water under iTunes, we're there. We're on SoundCloud. But
Nice.
yeah, iTunes, In Hot Water. There we are.
Awesome.
The
Good
only
deal.
hot dog podcast I know of.
Ooh,
But it's not even really about hot dogs.
what a
so-
sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
We
right.
talking kosher? We talking we
No.
talking Dodger Dogs?
We're the only pure beef podcast out there, so check us out.
Well, let's talk music wise. You're big in the music community here in Tampa and I guess Tampa Bay and Florida as well. How'd you get into any of that? Is that what like doing music promotion, being a part of events? Do you play? What's the deal?
Let me start with this maybe.
Okay.
How many bands have you been in? How many bands are you currently in? Because I know there's a couple that are going around right now. For anyone that's going to be at Ella's Americana Folk Art Cafe on New Year's Eve, go ahead and get your tickets now, $40.
Plugs out the gate. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ooh, I
New
might go
Year's-
to that.
Let's do
New
it.
Year's, People Blues of Richmond, Poetry and Lotion, John Nowicki doing a set to open up the night.
Doesn't get much better than
I
that.
love People's Blues of Richmond.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
fucking
They're legit.
amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
My questions were shit. Go with Caleb's.
Yeah, so I started playing music with you probably know him, Justin. You might know
Yeah.
Justin as well.
Mhm.
Listening to a bunch of alternative rock.
I don't know who I know anymore. Like I barely you meet too many people. If you're playing in bands, you meet so many people. Everybody kind of blends together at some point, you know?
This was when I was at Plant, so like 93, 94.
Plant
I was
High
Till-
School.
till
Plant High
infinity.
School. Yeah.
Till infinity.
Nice, Soulsmanship.
There we go.
Home of Gallagher and Wade Boggs.
And Steven Stills.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's it. And started playing.
Bert
around-
Kreischer. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Word.
Machine.
Wait. No,
The
he went to
Machine?
Jesuit.
Jesuit.
My bad.
Close.
That's my alumni. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
But playing there, I played a coffee house that was on Davis Island. That was next to the video store.
Oh, Red Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kids were drinking booze at a big gulp, so that lasted about 2 gigs out of our residency.
Mm-hmm.
Then we played the Brass Mug, I think, in like 95. And then I went to college and didn't play for a while. And then I came back and got into to promotion.
Nice.
Phil Benito, one of the founders of Brokenmold, who I helped start with Sean O'Brien, us three. He had a company called Groove Train where he was booking out of Skipper Smokehouse and doing a lot of jam bands and indie rock and stuff.
Nice.
And kind of just pounded the streets. I was a street teamer with him for a while I was going to school at HCC, and then kind of just latched on to other promoters. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, what's that like? You get out of, you're in college, you're in Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, and if you sound like I'm explaining some of this in case people are not in the area, if we're going shorthand on some stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking great at this. No, but but I'm saying like you get out, you're in college, and I don't know if you had the same thing I did, where you're like, well, I'm getting a degree, I'm part of society, and then you feel part of your life kind of dwindling away when you're passing out flyers, and you're like, I don't know if this is going to amount to anything, but I'm just going to fucking do it. Is that kind of how it was? You tell me. I don't know.
my college was a little different because I went to college and I didn't graduate. I went to Florida State I went to UWF, and then I went to Florida State, but I didn't graduate. So I came back and I was still in school. I still didn't graduate.
Uh-huh.
I had a degree in music composition, and I went to USF, almost done with it, but I was still in school, but still flying, but still acting a chump. while in school and doing all that, but got into a lot of music in college with being in the South, Weisford Panic. So that's when I was at Skipper's and got into Phil and all these crunchy jam bands. And then I was like way into music, got out of that, started wanting to promote in music, and then finally started playing it in bands in 2005 locally here.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw a badass picture. I think it was something, someone posted it on Facebook where you looked like y'all were jamming out, and I forgot you even played because we've been friendly for a while, and I was just like, oh, yeah, don't have your head up your own ass about doing comedy everywhere. There's other things going on. How long you been playing? Like, how did you get started in that? I think that's kind of the interesting thing we try to talk about in the podcast is like, is it something that was innate in you, or you just you pointed at it and you're like, I'm going to do that?
My uncle played guitar, my Uncle Steve, and he was really good. And then I also had...
I'm listening. I'm getting another beer.
I'll take one. And my uncle had played, and him and my aunt played a lot at like family gatherings, and I always looked up to that dude. He was real pure beef, and he kind of got me into it and like taught me a lot of my first songs. My mom got me a guitar from... Man, I'm super regional. Thoroughbred, sorry, that's in Tampa as well. And they're no longer, but shout out to them, plug. And then, so got a guitar, started playing, the classics, Hendrix, Doors, and all that stuff. Then started playing in garages and sucking really bad. But that's what you got to do. You got to get out there and play and have people tell you're bad, and you start practicing more. And
is there a moment in there, maybe we're trying to be too nostalgic with it, but is there a moment in there where you're playing, you're sucking, and you're like, I don't know if the band thing is for me. I don't know if I'm, I want to keep doing this, or it's because there's tons of people that just play guitar. I play guitar just to play it. I mean,
it's the worst thing I've put in this office was a guitar because you've come in and been like that guy.
Play me something.
Everybody comes in that knows a little bit about guitar. We had people here on a Friday night after a show, and they're like, "Oh fuck yeah, Washburn, okay." And then it's like Neil Diamond, and you're like, "Ugh, this is not the vibe we were going for." I like Neil, but not when you do it. Fucked up. So that's the worst thing. I had that in my bedroom, and then like when your boys would come over, it's like. In high school, you're like, God damn it! They're playing Blink-182 on a acoustic guitar. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, get out of here, Caleb. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, that's my time. I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for coming out.
Was there a point though where it happens with a lot of people where you everything kind of turns and changes, and you say, all right, I'm either just gonna play in my room and enjoy it myself, and my family will enjoy it, or whatever, or no, I want to go out and I want to play this loud, and I want to play in front of a bunch of people. And feel something a little bit more. Was there a point that came up when you decided to do that, or did it just kind of rolled into it and it just kind of never went away?
It was probably when I started playing with Poetry and Lotion for our first show. We played Yeomans and got a really good reception. Never had that as a performer on stage, playing something, like having fun, playing our own stuff.
Yeah. What year would you say that?
2006. We're coming up on 10 years. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that was probably the defining moment where we were like, yeah, let's start a band. This is kind of worth it. We're not as bad as we think we are. Yeah. And then
and you started getting a lot of pussy.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. With comedy, you don't get shit. So like, would get pissed. Like I heard Jon Stewart had the best quote. Was like, the worst musician gets more ass than the best comedian.
Yeah.
No, I'm not from personal experience, but
let's put it this way. Hold on. Let's put it this way. A lot of single chicks do not go to a stand-up show. And if they are, they're the worst.
You don't want anything to do with them.
They're a bachelorette party, and that is like
drunk heckles.
That puts my boner inside and makes a tail. Like it goes backwards and it hurts. Yeah, it makes a little nub in the back. That's how much. Like I see a bachelorette party, I'm like, fuck, shit. This is gonna be shitty. Like, all right, just talk to them and get it over with, and then because it's all about them.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of bachelorette parties that are like, we're gonna go see a rock band.
Yeah, it's true.
One time, and at our worst show ever at Push Ultra Lounge in St. Pete.
Fucking
Florida.
shocking.
Terrible. We play with Tribal Style, and we should have not been. We played like a classy nightclub. We're not a classy band. We played, the Hub. We play Stonies.
Yeah.
We're a little classier now. We button up, but at the time, no. And these girls are like,
You're wearing Caleb shirts.
yeah, tight shirts,
Just tight as fuck.
They're like, they usually fit us, but that's not in my budget yet. All right, the shirts that fit. All right, so
Wearing
we're
Walter
getting there.
White
We're
teacher
getting there.
shirts. Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, still to this day, people talk about that show, how terrible it was. And they're like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna see it. There's like my wife's friend. They're like, yeah, you guys still play?
Well,
Yeah.
I will say you
Sure?
have to have the bad shows. You have to. You can't just, if you only just do well or marginally well, it's like it doesn't work. You have to have those shitty shows.
Oh, of course.
And how much does that make you better the next time around? Because you're like, we're looking out for this. Either we're not doing this venue or we're not doing this kind of day, time. Or like if a bachelorette party comes in with a bunch of penis straws, get the fuck out. You're not welcome here. This is not your party. This is not karaoke because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, did you all learn, what lessons did you learn from that kind of gig?
You just learn from your mistakes, not to take any, like, sometimes money's not the big idea. It's sometimes that could negatively impact the band, and it could have a, we took a few months off after that, and it was like not a good look for us to play those places and for that audience. Sometimes it's better to play a benefit and turn 5 people on that could tell 20 people as opposed to have 20 people come in just say play some Britney Spears and we don't, and then it's we're getting shit thrown at us.
You're getting shit thrown at you for not playing Britney Spears. Wow.
Gummy dildos
All right.
Yeah,
thrown at you. Come
garter
on.
belts.
Yeah. It's Anna's bachelorette party, okay? Fucking play it. Bitch. Like, yeah, I know this feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's miserable.
Well, I know. I mean, to attest to the, having those, you'd rather have those 5 solid people there at New World Brewery, watching your show, and maybe it's not the turnout you want, but those are the loyal followers who are going to go and tell 20 more people, so that at your
Quality
next
over
show,
quantity.
Yeah, exactly. And I've watched. I mean, through my brother, who's good friends with Matty Lee over
Love
here,
you, Andrew.
and he listens. Give him a little shout out. He'll
Shout out, Fuddy.
yeah,
Love you, brother.
he likes some love every now and then.
A fuddy shout?
So, so through him, I've kind of grown in the local music scene a little bit as a spectator. I, like we all mentioned, I suck at guitar and I won't ever get on a stage. But through the shows that I've seen, even guys who are larger regionally, they'll come in like a David Mayfield parade. They'll come in, and I was one of, I kid you not, it might have been 6 people. Gabby was 2, a friend of mine was 3.
Gabby's your fiance.
And Gabby's my fiance.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 other people in the crowd, and we're watching. There were as many people on stage as there were in the crowd, so it was a little awkward. But then we watched him come back a year later, and there were 20 people. And I was like, all right, it's better, but this guy's really good. He probably deserves more than this. Then I watch him just shut down Tropical Heatwave at Crowbar.
What's that?
Tropical Heatwave is a local music festival put on by WMNF 88.5 here in Tampa.
A lot of regional talent.
Yeah, a lot of regional talent here, and it's an awesome showcase to show people around here what kind of talent there is. So, but I watched him just shut that place down completely, blew the roof off, and it just, you watch it slowly build, and it happens. It can be tough, it can be a grind, but you just keep knocking on that door, and eventually it's either going to open or you're going to bust it down. So to attest to that, the people that, you may not be playing in front of a lot of people, but the ones that are there, they want to be there, and they will bring more people next time. I think that, it's just kind of cool to hear you kind of say, hey, we'd rather have those 5 people there. They go tell 20, and that's how it all just starts to grow, and the buzz kind of gets louder and louder.
Yeah, a lot of kids will think I want to play Janice Lynn, I want to play Tampa Theater. It doesn't happen like that, and you're not going to get your first or your second show there. You got to start out with more grassroots, more organic, and build it up and play. You got to play some shit shows. Same with comedy. You got to do open mics. You got to do, you got to make the rounds, and you got to build the following.
At least with the shit shows with a band, you can at least like commiserate together. Did I say that right? You can be bummed out together and laugh about it. When you start out in comedy, you're a fucking alley cat, and you don't have anybody to talk to, and you don't have that many friends yet. So like, it's a fucking suck fest.
You still try to hype it up on social media. You're like, awesome show tonight. Y'all missed
crushed.
it.
I will only say like when it's a really fun show, it was really fun, and I've never really hyped anything until like I felt comfortable in my skills on stage. Where when we started touring, that's when I really thought I kind of hit when we're doing it 90 shows in 3 months, that's when, okay, I'm getting a groove. I'm not a headliner by any means, but I was like, I have a solid fucking 35 to 40 minutes that is crushing wherever we're going in the country. I'm not there yet, but I feel it, and I feel confident enough to push it out there. And I'm sure you had the same thing where you're like, let's get some originals under our belt before we're really like pimping ourselves out. But this is where this is a good way to kind of transition a little bit into, you're doing, you have to find a job that that gives you the ability. And I did the same thing. That's why I was attracted to all the online work where you can be almost a nomad, where I was working and I'd be opening for people, but I could work from anywhere I had Wi-Fi. So it didn't matter. I'd be crashing on couches at my buddy Travis's place in Chicago, and I'm opening at Zany's for 5 days, but you got to get there a day before, leave a day after. So you're really there a whole week. And it's like, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter where I am for this job, as long as I'm online and I'm hitting it back and I'm getting in touch with everybody and I'm not being a flake. I feel like maybe that might have been the same trajectory, kind of maybe the same logic as you were going on into like SEO, PPC stuff.
Music and marketing and promotion, I think they're all like pretty much intertwined, and it's a lot of the same song and dance as far as what you want to do and getting the messaging out. And yeah, all you need is Wi-Fi. But when I was doing marketing, it's, very similar to what you do with paid search, what you do with SEO, as far as kind of just putting out the word, having the message, know the audience, know what people want, not being an idiot, like putting out good stuff, not overflowing them with it. You don't want to spam anybody.
Right.
But at the same time, you want to put out quality, unique, original stuff. And this applies for everything. So, but yeah, having that and having that balance is
yeah, it's one of those things where I know where you're coming from, because I tell people, like, look, you have to disassociate yourself from you on stage. So there's a way to like kind of market yourself without feeling like a douchebag. Like, hey, look at me, I'm a glory hog, all this stuff. No, it's like, no, I'm good. I want you to come to this stuff. Here, I'm going to make an email blast, and I'm going to have like, we might do some ads. We've done Cigar City Comedy Facebook ads, and they've actually done performance-wise in this area that's kind of a laggard area. It's done really well. And we show video. Hey, there's talent in this area. You guys got to come out and see us, kind of thing. I don't know if y'all did anything similar to that, or if there's a gap between like really taking music seriously and doing the music promotion into kind of getting into that SEO, the online marketing world.
Yeah, as far as like video content, that's tough. And but I think all bands should be doing podcasts. They should be doing everything that a regular website or company should have. They should have their footprint on every social media network, every free possible space, SoundCloud, not MySpace, it used to be MySpace, Facebook, Reverb Nations, just there's everything, Google Plus. You want to have your name on every single page as the top first 3 pages of Google is my rule, is to have, just touch points everywhere. And if you don't have that, have blogs, have Tumblr, just tweeting everything, man.
How'd you get from music promotion and playing to learning how to do SEO and pay-per-click and all that stuff? Because I think I skipped over that gap asking you about that, because I had the same thing where I had to just learn on the fly.
Yep.
And I learned because I saw other people being successful with it that were dumber than I am. And I was like, I can fucking do this.
You're like, really? Jeff's doing this? You serious? Fucking Jeff?
Paul? He's not listening. Jeez. He won't listen. But I'm saying, like, my thing is, like, I always had a good math brain, so I was like, oh, okay, I can figure this out. It just takes a little patience. I have to sit there and watch YouTube videos after YouTube videos, kind of figure it out, and then pepper in some advice from someone who knows what they're doing. Like, you could literally learn how to be Google AdWords certified if you just sat there and just watched the classes and did the stuff they tell you to.
Yeah.
And no one does it.
Yeah.
And it's like, to be, what's a good, what do you think like an average salary for someone that's certified? I mean, it's up there.
Depending on the markets.
Let's say entry level. let's say
entry level.
Let's say you're a kid out of high school or college, but you're Google AdWords certified and you're looking for, and some company needs you, at least a $50,000 starting.
Yeah. I was
because it's so
Yeah.
fucking important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So especially if you're a business where people have to search to find you.
Yeah. And it's a market that's not going to go away. And, I got into the gig, kind of got thrust into it. I was running the valet at Malio's famous restaurant in Tampa, Florida.
Old school mafia style. Mm-hmm.
Mafioso.
I like how you're explaining the stuff now. This is good.
And I got it, Caleb. And they went out of business. They told us on Wednesday we were going to get let go on Saturday. And I went to a restaurant, ran into an old friend who had a new startup. This was 2005. It was a really small company, maybe 6 of us, doing a lot of lead gen stuff. So back then it was a lot of insurance, a lot of real estate, a lot of moving. We're buying leads. So at that time, SEO was huge. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I just went in there and, just learned by mistakes, just like don't play shows with bachelorette parties. Go and play or go into this job and just learn from your mistakes. I learned keywords. I learned how to do right meta, all this stuff.
Right.
And you just, you'll learn it. You just got to do it and you got to put in the time and just be cognizant and know what's going on out there. But I don't really think there's a book. I've never taken one class. I read a lot of blogs.
Sure.
But yeah,
the
music
information's out there. That's what's crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, a lot of times, and in my own experience as well, I came to a point in the road where I wanted to go to grad school and get a master's degree, and I got talked out of it by someone who was really high up and who I really respected.
Rich.
I was yes, Rich Fuddy. Got to give Rich a shout out in case he does decide to listen one day.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Dad? Love you.
Love you too, Dad.
And so someone who I really put in high regards, and he said, why are you gonna go get, what do you want to get out of a master's degree? I said, well, I want the recognition and you can make more money. And he said, okay, you're going to spend a few years learning about stuff you already know, and you're going to miss out on a million opportunities to fail, succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed. And that is where you learn.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to grad school. I ended up, not going that route. And I got amazing experience within the next 2 years of my life in that exact industry that I wanted to go to graduate school for. So I feel like you said, never took a class on it, but you had the will to get up and not be scared to go in there and be like, this is what I want to be doing. This is what I want to learn about. So I'm just going to go and learn about it while I'm working, while I'm on the job. I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think there's a lot of people out there who have a misconception like I did that, man, I need to go to grad school. I need to get some big fancy degree in this. And no, you need to get the experience. You need to go in there, you need to fall on your face. You need to, hopefully you've got someone behind you to help pick you back up. But if you don't, pick yourself back up and figure out where you went wrong and then go from there. And that's how you're going to make leaps and bounds. You're going to get in front of other people. You're going to surpass other people. And you're going to end up, like Maddie Lee moving onto the big city here pretty soon. So
yeah, just like that.
You got to get your
just like that's how it happens, kids.
You got to get your dick knocked in the dirt, and you got to be like, "Fuck, all right, I got to figure this out." And I think that having the grit, I think, is the most important thing. I was telling Matt before we started, we hired an intern, and he's goof dick. He's goofy as fuck.
Is that his middle name?
It's Ryan Goof Dick Hoppy.
That's what
Hashtag
nice,
Goof Dick.
Awesome.
But there is something to him. He has a passion for doing radio and podcasting, and I see that, and I can see that passion for it. And he's figured it out. He's 22. All right, he's goofy as shit. He's got no professional kind of instincts yet.
Yeah.
But you hire on character and train on skill. So it's the same way. He tried and errored hard, but he did it fast. And I think that's one regret I had as well, is like I did grad school for a year and burned out because I was trying to do grad school working a 50 to 60 hour a week job, the one that I was mobile with, and doing stand up. And I was just doing it basically for that backup plan. It was right in the recession where it's like, oh shit, everybody's going back to school. I should probably do that because your bachelor degree basically is a high school degree at this point. Got devalued.
Yeah.
And then so your grad school is basically like a bachelor's degree. and then you get a PhD, and that's like a legit grad school thing. But I learned a lot in a year I did it. That's the way I see it, at least. I learned a lot in that year I did it, but once I burned out, I was really mad, and then I was like, fuck it, I don't need it. Like, it doesn't, I'll make my own way. It doesn't matter. I don't think I have the personality to be able to hang out in a corporate environment that would respect some kind of resume builder. Then the next 4 years is just working your ass off. Yeah. And Caleb knows because he's been, we've been friends for a while, and you see like, all right, I'll see you later. I'm going to go wake up and go do this thing in the morning that makes no sense and makes no money. But I know it'll be better, and those kind of things. Is that how you went about it? I don't even know how we got from to here, but from the promotion, the playing part, you were a waiter, and then
a valet.
A valet. Oh, all right. Even better.
Law wasn't listening.
Did you say valet?
I was about, yeah.
I might have been writing something down.
Rewind the tape.
We don't have
shots fired.
We don't have those skills here. I like bringing in their podcast and ours.
I don't think I specified what position. I said I worked at Malias.
Okay.
No. He
I assume waiter because you speak English.
Everyone needs to stand corrected. He said valet.
Okay.
The guy said valet.
All right. That's my bad. I'm writing notes over here on the side. I got to write tags. We got to get our own meta every time we do our podcast episode.
Nice.
But did you see any of that in where you were? It's what was it? We're at 2005. Okay, I was gonna say 06, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Around here, probably not a ton of startups going on. So to be in a startup, based business back then is probably a little different. They're probably hiring a little more outside the box at the time than other companies are.
Yeah.
Were most of the people working there, in the same boat as you, where, hey, I'm here to get experience. I'm here to, bust my ass, learn what I can learn, and move up? Or did you see people saying, oh, I've got this degree, and I'm going to go get this degree now, and I'm going to get my master's, and I'm going to be more prolific in this and that? Or was it, hey, let's work on the experience here? What was it like?
I would say it'd probably be 60-40, 60% having marketing, business, finance degrees, and the rest 40 being people like me, just music degrees or just in there. Yeah. But as bad as it sounds, man, I think it kind of having a degree these days is a little bit useless, and it's I know so many people are paying back student loans and they're not even using their degree, and it's it's much more beneficial, I would think, to be an intern and to just get your hands dirty and work at a company and work your way up, as opposed to being 30,000 in the hole for something you potentially might not even like 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
And
I'd be interested to see a statistic, and maybe we should know this since we're hosting a podcast, but a statistic on how many people work within the realm of their degree or their field of study.
It's not high.
No. I'm sure it's not.
The correlation's really low. Yeah. Like it's crazy. I was gonna say, like, do you remember how fucking dumb you were at 20 and 21?
Yeah.
Who fucking knows what you want to do? Like, I knew I liked business, but I didn't know what direction. And I'm glad we had an entrepreneurship program, but I just did it because I didn't like any of the other business sides. I took finance classes, accounting. I was like, fuck this shit.
Well, and I think back when we were in college, and Law and Matt are a little bit older than I am, but not by too much.
Only by our hairline.
Well played.
What? Look, I look like Nicolas Cage these days. It's pretty rough.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think back then, at least for me, when I heard business degree, you got a degree to go work for a company. It wasn't business degree so you could kill what you eat or eat what you kill and put food on your table from making your own business and making your own money. It was have you making money for someone else. They pay you less and you're happy with it. So it was, I think it was a little bit. Now I think a lot of people in college do go into business school and to get their business degree and MBAs and with their own self in mind, with their own interest in mind.
I think a lot of that has to do with how college classes have been introduced to high school as well. I mean, even when I was there, you could take, I did all my English classes in the 90s. And I think you can kind of get a good feel for kind of what field or what passion you have through those classes. But without getting your hands dirty and like actually working and doing the work, I don't think you'll ever know without, what you're really passionate for.
Were you, because you're a smart dude, and I feel like I have good street smart more than book. And I feel like, did you get you have potential growing up, but didn't make good grades? Or did you make good grades?
No.
Did you not even have potential growing up?
None.
Did they ever say
Me and Andrew made about the same grades.
That sums a lot. That answers a lot of questions in my own head. So that's
Andrew
good.
was good in college though. He crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came on quick.
C's get degrees, man. That's where
right.
I came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know if you have anything else at this juncture in your life we're talking about, but I was going to say, what are you looking to do the next couple of steps in your life? Like what's it sounds like you might be making big moves. I'll let you explain it, but what's going on? What do you want to do the next couple of years?
So I've been recently been working doing Google Shopping. So that is a segment of PPC, but it is just the Google images. It's their answer to Amazon ads. So if you're looking for, if you're looking for Waterloo, you see that you see not the text ads, but you see the image, and then you see the price tag below
nice
that.
plug.
That's what I do. We also do that for comparison shopping engines. It's based on a data feed, but it's all based around a feed. So that's what I'm doing. I've been doing that since 2012. It's very niche. I had the opportunity when I came back to this company to either take a paid search role or to take this new opportunity, which was called Frugal at the time. It was a free offering from Google. Since then, it's a paid offering. Now Amazon is shut down in October, and now it's a really big part of Google. It went from being 15 to 20% of their spend from last quarter. Now it's up to like 25 to 45% of their spend. It's huge. So
that's enormous.
Yeah, I made the right gamble to get into this field in this vertical, and I've owned it, and I grew this channel from 6 accounts to 50 accounts in a few years.
That's fucking awesome.
Wow.
Man.
And I got a great opportunity up north for a company called MediaCom, where I'll be doing the same position, but just with larger reach.
I think my buddy works there. We might have to figure that out. But
the old buddy line. I got a buddy in New York.
One of my best friends, a groomsman of mine. But I think, well, let me ask you this: what about Pinterest? This is my philosophy.
Do you pin a lot?
I think Pinterest is going to be second to Facebook in the sense that their ads correlate so well, because the market research is a better correlation than anything else out there. Even better than Instagram, because it's all visual. But what women pin to their board, they will most likely buy that or a shittier version of that. So it's like you can give 3 options. I think they're going to fucking annihilate the e-commerce kind of social media to e-commerce kind of platform. What do you think?
Once they figure it out, they're going to crush. And there's a few copycats out there that I work with called Polyvore and Stylite. It's pretty much the same thing. It's the same model.
The same as Pinterest?
Yeah, pretty much the same model. It's not as robust as Pinterest, and it's not the best user experience, but you can it's more of an e-commerce platform for them, but the look is just like Pinterest, where you can
vertical images too.
Yes, and you can like make your own wardrobe out of, I don't know what the hell they do, or make a like a backyard set or something.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My friend had an idea for this. She was my friend at Facebook, and she had an idea called like Lookbook. I don't think she'll kill me for this, and she's at Instagram now, but she had an idea. Let's take that virtual world. Let's see if you can design fashion ideas almost. And I was like, you mean like Clueless, the movie, like in 1995? Where
she's like just like Clueless.
She was like, yeah, actually, it's kind of like that. And I was like, I hate that I've seen that movie so many times, but I mean, that's exactly what she was talking about. Let's put an outfit together. That's what Clueless was. It was out of your mind crazy in 95, but we're at that area now where like you could literally get a picture of yourself and put this shit on to look like it fit you. And so I think Pinterest
I think I need that.
And it sounds like that might have been the niche off of Pinterest, because what we're seeing now with so many things is like, all right, there's a great idea like Pinterest. It's a great idea. It's heavily catered to women in America, and European men started getting on there because they're creeps.
Because they wear man purses.
Well, I mean,
tight shirts.
Yeah, black jeans if you're Spaniard, and so what I'm saying is like, but I read a stat that was like 88% of what women pin to their board they will buy. and it's like
Wow.
that is a fucking. If
Yeah,
you
that's
had an
insane.
R-squared correlation chart, that thing would be it's 88%. That's
Yeah.
insane.
There's no type of conversion rate like that anywhere.
So you hover over. I think it's eventually going to get to the point where it hovers over, and then you're going to have like 3 options of what that thing is. But it could be a picture of like Kim Kardashian wearing whatever, and then you have the fake. Dude, we're going to get there. So don't like.
Does Kim have to be involved?
I'm giving the worst example for you guys.
I think Rob should be involved.
Oh yeah, you still.
Yeah,
have
you're a
making a
big
comeback.
fan of Rob.
He's making a comeback, dude.
How's he doing?
I just hope Rob
get a
ends
Rob
up good.
update.
I hope he ends up good with the weight
I'm
loss,
gonna get a
man.
beer while you talk about Rob.
Can I have one? I
let's
need one
not-
if I'm talking about Rob.
Let's not all leave because I don't really have a Rob update. I just hope he's doing well. That's all I'm trying to say, man.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
I haven't looked in a while,
How's
but
his sock line? Isn't he the guy that does socks?
is he with Stance? Is he with Stance socks?
I don't know.
Let me.
that
You know
is-
what? We have internet in the Toco Works headquarters, and I'm gonna look this up.
I do run ads for Stance Star Wars socks that are available on Tilly's.com.
Dude, this isn't all about plugs, all right? This isn't
Edit
a
that
plug.
out.
This isn't a plug cast, okay?
We don't edit. If anybody's listening to this, we don't edit. So
All right, I take that back. He is not with Stance socks. He's with
Yeah,
Arthur
Stance is pretty
George
legit.
socks. So
A sock line? Get it together.
dude, I'm just saying, if my however many sisters were super hot and super rich, the last thing I would do and think of would be like socks, right? Like that. It just doesn't seem. I don't get it. I don't connect the dots there. But
is it his company?
yeah, I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
Maybe he's got a piece of the action.
He like does something for him, but he's like trying. I just hope the guy loses weight. Is all I'm saying.
I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't really even wear socks, so I'm not really into the sock part. I just hope he's doing all right.
You're fucking gross. That grosses me out.
So Pinterest.
Pinterest. What do you think about that? I think that's going to be second to. I think Facebook's actually figured
Phasing out.
Really? You think so? I've read
I-
a bunch of Pew studies that say the opposite.
Actually, I think for our age group, it's going to be phasing. But for older people, they love it.
Right.
They go bananas.
Guess who
Yeah.
has more money?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah,
That's-
yeah,
well.
true.
That's always my case when everyone's like, well, Facebook's dying, and it's like, yeah, but younger kids still have it because it's almost like I see it as a hub. Everything they might not use it nearly as much as Snapchat or Instagram, but I think it is the hub. Everything else is a spoke at this point.
Yep.
I feel like Pinterest, and here's where it kind of came all full circle. We're looking at the house we were buying, and we wanted to make some work order changes to the kitchen. My wife is all she's doing is giving them, here's what I want it to look like from Pinterest. Not even like trying
Yeah.
to find the link to.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it, I don't care. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And we made it look like that.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, that's when it really clicked. And when I read all this studies and all this stuff, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, every chick uses this. Guess who buys a lot of the stuff for a household?
Yeah.
Women.
Well, I'm in the middle of planning a wedding, and every single aspect of the, visually of the wedding, from flowers to lighting to, decor and what kind of chairs we're going to have, and if there's going to be ribbons on the chairs and just everything, it's from Pinterest.
Oh, the chairs, man.
It's all from
the
Pinterest.
chair fucking rentals. What a goddamn
I don't
scam.
know that
Racket.
we may just have people stand.
We thought
It might be a BYOC, bring your own chair wedding.
that's what we did.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of did.
Yeah.
We were like, there's going to be like 10 chairs.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to recommend where to buy your chair from. We're going to cut a deal with them, and we're going to get commission on every chair sold.
I'm going to get like that.
So we're going to make
backpack
money
chair.
from you coming to our wedding. Thanks,
what-
players.
I need to give you a thank you card before you leave, so I don't have to really write one.
So back on the Pinterest, I think that why it's going to do so well is that everybody is staring at their phones. Mobile is ruling everything, and everybody needs to see pictures. You really can't see text ads. You can't see much anymore as SEO. It has to be visual. It has to be in front of you. It has to be something that can fit on a smartphone. And Pinterest is right there, and they're doing an amazing job with it. I think Instagram is also right there behind them, but not as far e-commerce. I don't think they're doing a little bit of sponsored ads. I don't know how well they're doing yet, but I listened to the last podcast. They're a lot more trepidatious, and they want to test it before they run it, as opposed
Is that
to
what I said?
the Facebook model. Facebook just likes to test everything.
Yeah.
And throw
Yeah.
shit against the wall.
That's what I like.
And I think everyone found that out early. Like I remember when I was in college, and Facebook comes out, and you're like, man, I really like this, and like they're coming out with a new Facebook, and like you would have thought the world was gonna like literally implode. But now, I think they learned, instead of doing it that way, making a big announcement, we're gonna change the way Facebook is. They'll put something on there for some sort of feature, and it's gone the next morning or like within 2 hours.
Yeah, they'll test it.
Yes,
the trending thing was interesting.
Yep.
Because they tried Twitter and that.
Yeah.
And it's done marginally well. I'd say it's done better than I thought it was going to do. And it pisses me off that I have to read. I try to quality control mine, and I literally delete every celebrity article because I'm like, well, this is going to be my feed.
It's going to be the feed. Yeah.
I want more tech stuff, and I want more like space, and I want more sports, and like I don't want sports, ESPN sports.
Well, but even then, when you're, I mean, when it's like graduation season, it's like the end of May, and all your feed are people who are graduating, because that's what gets the most likes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm in the stage of my life where everyone's getting engaged and married. So that's all my news feed is. And it's like I get it. I'm doing it too, but like I don't care about your engagement and your wedding and like not yours, dude. No. I don't mean that.
I got a sidebar. I was talking about this on stage the other night. My favorite Facebook posts now are the like older guys, probably like late 30s to early 50s, that are clearly trying to get pussy from their wife, and by writing like, it's 17 years ago I met the most beautiful woman in my life.
My
like,
God.
You would never ever hear him say that ever. And if you're at some Buffalo Wild Wings with him, he would never fucking ever talk about it. But he's like,
he probably wouldn't even say it to her in their room,
in bed.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have to, because you can't see his face. Yeah. But he's like, either he's about to get divorced because he got fucked up, or he's trying to get some pussy, and it's near their anniversary. So I just think that's a fun. If you watch that game, that's the game to play.
Yeah. I just think it's great. Anytime you have something serious to say, I'm always just like, don't look at me. I want to be serious for a second. Like, you can't look at me. I'm gonna be vulnerable. All right, don't look. Here we go. So yeah, that's the kind of thing we do. I'm like, can you turn the lights out real quick? I want to get real. I want to talk to you real quick.
I'm gonna put this Halo mask on and talk to you about this, but you can't look at me.
Yeah. If you're gonna put all that on Facebook and you're gonna bring a girl flowers on Valentine's Day and anniversary, you're doing something wrong. That's all.
There he is.
That's
too obvious.
You can find him at Mini Horse on Instagram, at Mini Horse.
Yeah, and Twitter.
Hate on him on all those things. Anything you want to talk about? We're getting that 50-minute mark. I try to keep it under an hour. We'll have you on again whenever you come back in town. Anything interesting you that you've been seeing lately that's like, hey, this is something I haven't been able to talk about. I think the Pinterest stuff for me, that's what I've been kind of anecdotally kind of like throwing around, like, hey, what do you think about this? And chicks are like, oh my God, yeah, that would be amazing if they had, like, you could just hover and you could pick out whatever you're going to do. Like, what's the dress one? The dress rental company?
Don't know it.
You lost me when you said girls that hover.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as someone who's in e-commerce, you should know. I mean, a lot more chicks are buying a lot of stuff. They don't buy the high-ticket items as guys do online, like cars and stuff, because that makes up a lot of that. But I'm saying, like, the smaller items under $1,000, I think it's a lot of female buyers. Am I right?
Oh yeah, no, it's the demographic.
Our household's like male and female buyers under $10. More, I don't know where the $1,000.
You're more of an offer-up family.
Yeah, I live south of Gandy now, so we're no longer in the apartment on the island. So our purchases, we're like, nah, we're gonna play our role here.
For those that aren't
in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, that's in Tampa, and that's
listeners,
part of the ghetto.
You know what? Don't listen to the show unless you've got your map out. All right. Rule number 1: get a map before you listen.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
A map of Tampa.
Yeah.
So I wanna ask Matty Lee a question here. He was recently part of, and we're gonna get super regional here, guys. Sorry if you're in LA and you don't want to hear it. The show's over for you. Turn it off, man.
They've got podcasts going on in their own head.
You've got other things to do today anyways. But I want to know, you got recently asked to be in a really cool concert that was put on by the good folks over at Brokenmold Entertainment. And it was an awesome show. As someone who likes the regional music scene, I go to as many shows as I possibly can. We did or you did a rendition of The Last Waltz, which is a legendary concert put on by the band back in the 76. Yeah, 76.
30th anniversary next year.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, there we go. There may be some fireworks ahead of us. You got asked to be maybe Garth Hudson, the keyboardist, the
Richard Manuel.
Okay.
Close. I was the other guy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Same thing. Same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing.
Blew it.
No. No.
There's two keyboardists, and they're both sketchy looking, and I'm sketchy. So yeah.
What was that like? Can you tell us a little bit? I know we gave that show, or I gave that show a shout out on one of our recent podcasts, and it was such a good time. But to hear from somebody who was in it, what was that like for you?
Pretty. It was the most fun I've ever had on stage. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
That's such a fucking cool idea, man. I
Yeah.
thought that was such a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm pissed I didn't go to
It's
it.
one of those things when
You'll
you
see
hear
it on the DVD's coming out in a
Oh,
week or two.
really?
Yeah, they filmed with 5 cameras.
Wait a minute.
I saw them there.
soundboard, Yeah.
Where'd
I
you
thought that
watch
was just some guy who's like, I want to remember this.
No.
But everyone wanted to remember
It's
it.
Ryan Siebold,
He's
the
got
guy who
he's got a red camera, and you're like, he's got booms and shit, and you're just like, this
No.
guy is really liking this home video.
no,
This guy's into this.
This is legit. They're
That's
saying
awesome.
it's shot better than the original, which I'll leave that to the viewer. But
Dude, I mean, it has to be.
It was in 76.
there's a lot of extracurriculars in the original recording. But
Yeah.
back to that, it was
Shout out Neil Young.
It was mind blowing from the rehearsals all the way to the performance. Became good friends with those guys. I've been playing with them for 8 years, not with them, but playing alongside. Have Gun Will Travel.
Yeah.
So the Have Gun Will Travel boys.
And for those of you who have stuck around to listen to this part of the podcast, go check out Have Gun Will Travel. They're a regional band down here in Florida. They're from Bradenton, and they come up here over to our side of the woods in Tampa and play quite a bit. And it's always a treat, man. They always blow the roof off the place. They've gained a really, really strong following the last few years.
The new record's amazing.
Yeah, they're a really good. I don't know if they'd kill me for calling them Americana rock.
They are.
But they are extremely good at what they do. So yeah, that was a treat, man. I remember, just watching that show, and it's one of those things you hear where you hear the rumblings of it, and as soon as you hear, oh yeah, we're gonna redo The Last Waltz with some regional music and some regional talent, and you just sit back and you're like, how is that? That hasn't been done yet?
Yeah.
And then you're just excited because it's good. It's happening.
What's so weird about it is, like, I saw that DVD like in college. I never like put it in myself. Like, I never owned it. I've probably seen that thing 20 times. It would either be on the background.
Yep.
Well, it's a big like fraternity, a Southern type deal with the fraternities.
Levon Helm gets a big
Rest in peace, Levon, man.
Yeah.
Love for Levon. But it's one of those things where I saw it from some buddies, and they got it from their fraternity brothers, and they're like, this is what we always used to watch when we get fucked up. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'll watch it. I'll get hammered, whatever. And you watch it, and you're like, this is the shit my parents used to listen to in the car on the way to Orlando, but now it's cool. And now it means something different, and it sounds different all of a sudden because you're older and you're having these positive experiences with this music. And so I kind of fell in love with it. And I remember going to my mom being like, hey, you'd love this DVD we watched the other night. We were drinking some beers, and it was The Last Waltz. You'd probably like it. And she's like, yeah, I've got it right over there on VHS. Caleb. I'm like, oh, cool, see you. So I'll just sit outside now.
You're a dildo of a son.
I'm gonna go ride my bike. You can call me on the streetlights. Come on, I'll be home. But and it's just this music that you latch onto. If you don't know the band and you haven't seen The Last Waltz, just do yourself a favor, dive into that head first. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I've asked you a question, and I've pretty much talked the whole time. So, what was some of the moments from that, man? What were some of your favorite?
Me. Yes.
Yeah, right. What were some of your favorite moments from that show, man? Does something stand out more than the others?
Mark Etherington as Neil Young doing Helpless.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even when we did the rehearsal, like he did it the first time we ever did it, and like you could hear a pin drop, and everybody's like freaking out.
Yeah. And he's a super talent. He goes by Red Feathers.
Red Feather,
his
Mountain
solo
Holler.
act,
He's
Mountain
also
Holler.
in Set and Setting. They're a huge band. out of St. Petersburg, Florida, and
Attaboy.
then Coyote with Shay Krapinski.
Yeah.
She did the Joni Mitchell song, and then of course Thomas Winn doing Caravan, which is my favorite on the album. But
Yeah.
we did that song one time that day. That we did one run through of it. So that time you saw it was the second time we ever did it, and it was. I mean, I blacked out several times, and I had maybe a beer. It was a pure,
Wow.
Yeah.
sober, religious blackout experience. My friends were
believe it.
asking me what they're like. What's Matt on? And I'm like, nothing. Just pure love right now, brother.
That kind of stuff just doesn't happen.
No,
It doesn't, and I think
No.
you can play in a band. I mean, you in some of the bands that you're in. I mean, it's Florida Night Heat, especially. You guys turn it up all the time, and it's more of an instrumental type deal with Florida Night Heat. But you guys really crank it up, and it's easy to kind of get lost in that kind of music and have those experiences. But I feel like there's something else that kind of takes place when you realize this isn't the norm. Like, I'm not going to be on stage with all these people. And even if they do the show again, it probably won't be all of the exact same people. I could see the lineup
scheduling
rotating.
Fucking nightmare, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It already was.
Yeah,
It
so
already was.
so it's kind of like and that maybe that's why it helps take you to that place.
Can I throw out a suggestion?
Yeah.
Even if you can't do the next one, or like y'all still do one, but there might be a good cover. Can we maybe throw out a little Spinal Tap?
Oh wow.
That would be pretty solid. Think about it.
No, that's
All right.
that is great.
When I thought about the last Waltz, I thought about this after the show. I
Big
missed
Bottom?
it. We talked about it a lot. Yeah. I mean, there's so many good Spinal Tap. Like, just you could fucking make it rain with awesomeness.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
And I don't think it would be hard to do,
No.
especially people wise, where
Yeah.
you don't have to get as many guys.
Yeah.
And I hope now, that Broken Mold Entertainment went ahead. They did this show. They saw the overwhelming response. Obviously, we hope there's going to be more Last Waltz shows. Wink, wink. 30th anniversary coming up, like you said. But hopefully, we might delve into a little more of kind of those awesome concert DVDs that everybody's popped in, on those Friday nights. So like, I'm not going to go out. I'm going to crack some really good beers or some really good drinks, or whatever you partake in. And I'm going to watch this thing from start to finish and just kind of howl at the moon. That's what I call like the howl at the moon kind of nights, where you're drunk by yourself or a couple friends and you
I was gonna say Pink Floyd.
Well, I mean, they're just those nights where it's music that you've had really good experiences with, and you're just kind of you take the time to hang out. Like I said, close group of friends or by yourself, and play them from start to finish, and you work up a strong buzz and then some, and you just enjoy the music. And I think when that comes to life on stage, I know I didn't black out from catching the Holy Spirit or anything. But I was close, man. I felt a lot of that up there, and just looking around at everybody singing along, having a kick-ass time, and feeding off you guys on stage was just like, man, this. I remember looking at my brother and being like, this will probably never happen again. No. And that made it, when I realized that, it kind of went up a notch and took it to a little bit of a higher level. So yeah, I've rambled on about that. Didn't let you talk too much, but I wanted to say thanks for that, because that was an awesome night. So hopefully there's a little more to come with that. So.
Yeah, it's like we talked about with a lot of stuff. Like, we're all three of us are really busy, and we do a lot of shit for free. And I'm assuming you didn't get paid. If you got paid anything, you didn't get paid much for that. But it's the experience of doing it. You're like, I don't know what this is going to do for me instantly, but I know later down the line that I'm going to get a lot out of this. Yeah. And you ended up getting almost like a religious experience. And I get it. I've had it on stage doing stand-up. Like, I almost white out sometimes if I get in a rant. It's probably more because I don't breathe, but I totally understand. Like, I will be on a rant and just it's fucking, it's reeling, you're hitting it, you're going, you're fucking nailing.
Where am I?
Yeah, and then like, fuck, I got to take a minute and breathe. Like, I totally understand that. So, where you're like, if I could bottle this up and sell it, as my friend Brendan T. Gleason says, I'd fucking be a billionaire. And so,
love that guy too.
He's good people. He might be coming in to be able to do this podcast.
I already got the confirmation text.
Okay.
What about the last guest I heard about? Have any updates on that?
I'm sorry.
One professional.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's not an update
coach?
on that. We will. We'll update as we
Joe?
we'll update as we go
Old JM?
along, and we'll kind of check that out.
Man,
so
it's gonna
we'll try to make that happen here.
I'm gonna have to go fucking stalk him. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I don't
We're
know
coming
that-
for you, Joe.
I don't know that that's gonna get it done.
We're talking about Joe Madden. If anybody hasn't
Yeah,
listened to the last episode,
and you know what? You don't deserve to know who we're talking about if you haven't listened to the past episodes.
getting aggressive now.
Yeah.
It's transferred to banger.
I'm 2 beers deep.
Okay.
You need to go back and learn
There's
something.
a third one open. Holy shit. I think we got to close it out on that. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Whenever you come back in town, you're more than welcome. Let's get on the mics and maybe we'll get some of the hot dog water on here. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, we can do a little cross pod.
That would be great. Everybody, if you can, share this episode if you like it. Go on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platforms. Share it, spread the word, and also go check out our brothers over at In Hot Water. Find them on SoundCloud, on iTunes.
Yeah.
Where else can they find you guys?
And you can find the whole In Hot Water crew at Crowbar on January 2nd with the Dugans, also known as Have Gun Will Travel, for our me and Fiona's going away party at Crowbar. Everybody's invited.
We'll be there.
We'll
in the world.
And we'll post this next Tuesday, so it'll get up just in time for it to get out there and get to the world. Happy holidays. Don't drink and drive. Take an Uber. Don't be a fucking idiot.